10 months down and 1 month to go. The other day, at the front door, Amazon showed up with a proof of the book, of the paperback version of the book. And as I was picking it up, I was looking at the date and I was thinking, okay, this is 1 month and a day to go. And then I looked at it and I realized I started this journey on July 15th of last year. And here on May 15th, the first proof of the book came. And for people that aren't as familiar, the proof, it has a little thing across it. It's not something that you can sell. It doesn't have an ISBN, but it was like this culmination, and seeing the layout. And I've seen it in formatting, and I've seen it online, and I've seen it digitally. But to then just sit there and hold it in my hands was kind of cool. Now, I looked at it also from the standpoint of a story. There are many people right now that talk about using the abuse of AI, or using AI to an abusive standpoint. And then there are others that are out there saying, no, I don't use it that way. Well, how? Prove it. And one of the things that I wanted to do, and I did throughout this process, and I did it from the first day, was to track my writing time. I can show on a calendar the last 10 months and the writing time, to the editing time, to recording the audiobook, to the work to get things laid out, to all of it. I mentioned in the top of the book, it was 999 hours and 9 minutes. And this wasn't some kind of funny look at this number. There was a point to it that I said I was not going to hit the 1,000 mark. And I was on track to do that. And I'm going to come back and do this. And I'm slightly going to change that. But in that, not trying to be perfect, in that being human, and also in just wanting to stop at a certain point, I got to that 999, and I wanted to stop at 999. I thought that would have been much cooler, but I needed those extra 9 minutes. And in that, throughout all of this, there's a proof of concept in what was done, how it was done, and over the period that it was done. And this is so much different from someone saying, oh, well, I just put in the prompt. Or, oh yeah, no, I put in hundreds of hours. I put in this. And no, well, how do you know? I recorded the audiobook, and I wasn't in the greatest of health when I was doing it. And it took me 51 hours and some to get the 14-hour audiobook complete. And at the same time, to be able to share that and show that and say, okay, here is my point. Here's what it took to get it to that point. And it was funny because when I began, I'm thinking, okay, I can do this. I can knock this out much quicker. I'm not going to have a problem with this. All those things happened. It was not much quicker. But at the same time, it was all me. And I look at the process and I look at the amount of hours across the week and some that I recorded the audiobook. I look at the amount of hours and the different times and when I was writing certain things, when I was editing certain things, where I was, how I was feeling, what was happening around that moment. When I started the book, I jumped up. It was a very early morning beginning to it. That afternoon, I was in the hospital. I was almost like this element of something is trying to stop this book from happening. But being able to look back and being able to not just say, oh, it's been a journey, but being able to trace the journey, blueprint it, and see it, it brings something different to the validity for me and the authenticity for me. And it might do the same for you if you're doing something. Consider as you're writing, as you're recreating, as you're recording, as whatever you're doing, consider tracking it and almost this time diary and this experience diary to show what it was like throughout the process, and then to see these kind of cool marks. As I realized 10 months later, from the very beginning, I had a proof in my hand, and I was 1 month and 1 day out from the release that's coming. Consider marking that journey and laying out that journey, because other people might be intrigued or engaged with the journey, with the time, with the experience as a whole.